like the people that couldn't qualify for your traditional FHA or conventionals, that's the people that I got hungry for. Because I know that a lot of our family don't have, a possibility. And I was like, I want to help people like my family. When I bring people into my team, I don't bring just whoever. Like, I interview who I want to come in, because it's who you mingle with. It's who's going to talk about you,
Yeah. And I also want to talk about the fact that you were like the face of a magazine once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about that. What was that like? Well, welcome back to the Life We Choose podcast. I'm Sergio Garcia. It's a good Thursday morning to have Itzel Sanchez, who is a real estate agent at Keller Williams Realty and is also my cousin. Prima, how you doing today?
I'm good, Primo. Thank you for having us today.
Yeah, of course. So I want to get into your item because we're trying to get these bookshelves filled out. Talk to me about what you brought and what it means to you.
Well, I love this place. It's so nice. It's so comfy. It made me feel so comfy. Well, this item, it's a house, because obviously I am a realtor, so I wanted to bring in something that represented everything that I did, which was building wealth. For me, it's more building wealth in our community, teaching people how to buy properties and not only owning their first property, but having several properties. So that's the reason I brought a house.
Oh, yeah. It's really symbolic. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's really nice. Thank you, Prima.
Yes.
So I want to get into the beginning. What got you into being a real estate agent? What got you into that journey?
Well, I started nursing school, and I know that has nothing to do with real estate, right? So I got out of class of 2011 Cordova High. That's where I graduated from. Then I went to Southwest, and then I was there for like 2 years. And then after that, my mom had a cancer, and I had to get out of school because there was nobody to take care of her. She was a single mom at the moment, so it was either helping my mom go through chemo or whatever she had to go through in the moment. She didn't have to have chemo, but she had some other stuff doing. So I was the one that had to take care of her and my brother, because I had a younger brother that now it's Renee. So I couldn't continue my studies.
Yeah.
And I had to get out, and I had to make money to make my mom a living. So I had to take care of a household, and then I just met real estate. I think we were wanting to rent a house. Yeah. And I met this girl, and she was like, I need an assistant. And she asked my mom, actually, and my mom was like, I'm not in the position to become an assistant right now, but my daughter can. And I just came to assist her, and I did rental properties in the beginning. And then I came to do wholesaling, so I was a wholesaler as well.
Yeah.
And then the company that I was with was like, you should just get your real estate license because you're doing good at it. And I was like, I don't want to. So it took me like a year and a half or two to get my real estate license because I dragged my feet. I really didn't want to do it. I just wanted to be the assistant to clock out at 5. Like, I didn't want I didn't want to have that hurdle, because I used to see how everybody was like running around and having all this stuff to do, and I was like, I just want to be the one that comes and clocks out and just make my paycheck and leave. But then as I started growing and learning more, I was like, you know what, I think I'll just give it a try. I'll do this part-time. And I passed my test. It took me 4 tries to pass my test, so I was really I was down when I couldn't pass it the first time. And then they were like, you have to wait, I think, another month before you scheduled your second try. And then I scheduled it again, and then I felt it. And it took me 4 tries. And I was sad. But then at the end, I was like, if this is for me, it's going to be for me. And if it's not for me, again, I wasn't pushing it. So I didn't really care in the beginning. And then it was so funny because I was in real estate school, and I was just like, I don't know if this is for me. And one of the girls was like, I knew this is for me. Like, this is what I wanted to be my entire life. And she passed her test at the first try, and she's not a realtor anymore. You know? So it's like, it was crazy to me. And then I didn't want to be a realtor because I saw like how they were all running around and stuff. And then I was like, no, that's nothing I want to do. I want to be chill. And then I got my license, and then I passed it at the 4th try, and then I got into it, and then here I am, you know? So that's how I started. And then it's just been my first year. I think I sold like 35 properties, and then it's been history from there. Like I never thought I was going to do it, but I just started posting on every social media I had at the moment. And I remember people telling me, you're so young, you're not going to do it. There's so many agents out there that are like, been here for 20 years in Memphis, and what are you going to give to the table? And I was just like, I remember I told my husband, at the moment was my boyfriend, and I said, a lot of people are telling me that I'm really young and then there's other people around doing this. What am I going to do? And he was like, you know how many gas stations we have and there's clientele for them? And I said,
Yep.
You're right. I said, that was my motto. And I was like, okay, there's a lot of gas stations in every corner and everybody has business. I'm going to have business too. And then that was just my motto. Like I kept pushing and he was just like, just push. He was like one of my biggest supporters. And he was just like, just keep going. It's going to be fine. And I kept going until it just exploded.
Yeah. So one thing that I like, a saying that I've heard is like, the sun shines for everybody. So
True.
Yeah, so that's absolutely really good mentality to have. So tell me about maybe like your first year. What were the struggles going on? What did you learn in that first year? Because I think that's one of like the most crucial years, like when you're going through your career.
Yeah. Well, my first year was I think it was easy peasy because I was like, all I got to do is just show houses, you know? But to me, the most difficult thing was like learning our contracts because there's a lot of legality behind us. So it's like, you all see me on Facebook just like posting houses and like talking to people, but there's paperwork on paperwork behind everything we do. So if you want to make an offer, there's paperwork. And if you want to change something on the contract, there's paperwork. And it was just too much paperwork. And I needed to learn everything that I was doing. And that was my biggest thing. It was just the paperwork. And then also when I first started, it was 11 years ago. And it was for my community, it was like finding them financing, you know, like they couldn't buy with the traditional bank. So I needed to find somebody that could finance for them. So also finding somebody that could finance for the people that couldn't afford a house, you know, like the people that couldn't qualify for your traditional FHA or conventionals. That's the people that I got hungry for because I know that a lot of our family don't have, you know, a possibility. And I was like, I want to help people like my family. I don't want to sound racist right now and I'm not fair housing, but I was like, there's enough realtors that want to help the people that can, like the ones that have los seguros sociales and like, you know, that are here, U.S. citizens. Like there's enough agents that could help them.
Absolutely.
I want to help the ones that can't, the ones that have been told no.
Yeah.
And that first year is when I found that hunger. And I was like, where am I here for? What I want to do? And I was like, I want to find something for those people que les han dicho no pueden. And I want to be the one that said, sí pueden. And this is how, you know? So I prayed for it. God has been my ally all through this journey. I pray a lot to him. And I told him, I was like, only you know where this person is at that's going to help me find the financing for these families. And only you know who's going to have the heart for it. And I interviewed so many people for this because when I bring people into my team, I don't bring just whoever. Like I interview who I want to come in because it's who you mingle with. It's who's going to talk about you, you know? Yeah. So after I interviewed him, I interviewed like 6 people before I met this guy. And that's how I started. For my first year, I was just very hungry. I actually found the motto to do what I wanted to do. And I think that's very important with any career. Find your why. Finding your why is very important and knowing why you're there. Even there's a lot of gas stations, there's going to be clientele for you. And also, why are you there? Because your career will get hard no matter where you're at, the healthcare or business or wherever you're at. Just know why you're there. Your why is very important, and just talk to God all the time. That's been my biggest thing.
Absolutely. That's a really good thing to have by your side. So tell me maybe about why, I know that you said that you really like to cater to the Hispanic community, and I think that's very important. Tell me like how important that is to you. Like what do you feel about it? Like, how does that make you feel?
I don't know. I just feel like our minority right now, even right this second, is being attacked so much. And I feel like information, over information and information cast out fear. And a lot of people don't take decisions of buying a house. I literally, as soon as I got here, I got off 2 phone calls on the way here. People are asking me, is this true? I saw this on the news. And I'm not an attorney or anything, obviously, but I just tell them from my experience of what I know, what's true and what's not true. So there's a lot of miscommunication when your parents haven't bought a house in the U.S. and your grandparents haven't bought a house in the U.S. Like you're the first generation here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where to start. You don't know who the realtor of the family is. You don't know who the lender is. You know, like I used to see that with a lot of my friends, like, oh yeah, I'm going to use the realtor my parents used when they bought their house. And I'm like, our community doesn't have that, you know? And they also have a lot of misinformation of like, what if I do this? What if I don't do that? So I wanted to have that for us to feel like this was home for us.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to know that even here in the U.S., we can become the American dream true, you know, because a lot of people are like, there's no way. And I'm like, yeah, there is a way, you know?
Yeah.
So that's literally how I wanted them to feel. I wanted to feel homey for them.
Okay. And buying a house to me seems like a really big process. When I think about it, I feel like I have to have $50,000 in the bank and all this and that. So tell me maybe like some misconceptions or things like that people get wrong when it comes to that process.
Well, first is like, I'm not going to apply till I'm ready. That's not true. I would literally suggest for you to apply, and it doesn't cost you anything but like a hit on your credit, and it'll be like 5 to 10 points. It's not going to hit your credit by 50 or 60 points unless you're like in the 400s.
Yeah.
But if you're like above like 600, it will affect 5 to 10 points. I'm telling you because I've done it before. Like I'm telling you from experience. So just checking your credit. People don't want to do that. They're very like, oh no, I don't want you to check my credit. And how much is it going to be? You know? And I'm just like, it's no charge. We do it for information purposes. So you know exactly what you need. So it's like, I tell them it's like going to the doctor and they're drawing blood from you. So if you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, me duele algo, right? And then they're like, okay, but we can't see it, so we need to draw blood from you. And then they're like, no, don't draw blood from me. And then they're gonna be like, well, we can't see nothing, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with us. The credit check for us is like very important to know exactly what's on your credit, because people are like, oh no, I have perfect credit. My bank tells me I have a 700 credit score. I have no debt. And then we pull the credit and they're like, oh, you owe a bill to AT&T from 3 years ago for like $60. And even if it's $60, it's been delinquent on your credit. So it's pulling your credit down. That's the reason you can't bump up, you know?
Yeah.
So little things like that we can actually see to know exactly what they need from you. It's very important, you know? So first, just the misconception of like, I don't want to pull my credit. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you because it's going to tell us exactly what you need to work on to get to the next level. You know, that's be the first thing. You know what to work on. You have your to-do list. Second, you don't need $50,000 in the bank. There's a lot of first-time home buyer programs to where they can help you with your first down payment stuff and everything. So it's really important as well. So if you apply, they can tell you, hey, you need these 3 things. And once you have those 3 things, we can qualify you for the first-time home buyer program, which they give you usually more than half of what you need. So let's just run some quick numbers, right? For a $200,000 house, you're going to need $6,000 down plus closing costs, which is another $10,000. I'm just giving very draw numbers. So it's $16,000. So out of the $16,000, you'll have to bring maybe like $5,000 and then they'll pay the rest.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are like, how? And I'm like, well, you have to first start with the credit check. And then they also want to look at houses, right? So they're like, let me go look at houses first and then I'll tell you when I'm ready. No. So you can't go buy a car without money, you know? So you got to have the money first. So the credit check, I need the $50,000 in the bank. And then also a lot of our community is like, I have cash, you know, and it's in my house and I'm going to buy it like that. So it has to be in the bank. So there's a lot of guidance. We do like consultations and we help you through it, you know, so you know exactly where you need to be for each thing that you want to do.
Gotcha. So I know that, you know, when you're trying to get a car and you're trying to get that insurance, that a lot of times they're like, you know, you're young, so we're gonna have to boost that insurance higher. So for any of the younger generation, is there anything that they have to also look out for when it comes to like if they want to get their first house?
I would definitely recommend for you to not bust your credit. Don't buy a car. The car is like, don't buy a car yet. Maybe buy like that little car that's like 10,000 or, you know, like the cheapest car.
Yeah, the cheaper car.
To get you somewhere to where you need to be. And then you buy your house, right? But I would suggest buy you the cheapest car you can, buy your house and then get you your $60,000 RAM. You know what I mean? Because the car is like a debt to you. So ya cuando vienen conmigo, ya tienen la camionetona de $100,000 parked outside. And then it's like, yeah, you're paying $1,000 a month for that. So you don't have any money left over for a mortgage, you know?
Yeah.
So for sure, like try to get a smaller car. So I would say just something to get you through work and then back. And then the second thing will be use 30% or less of your credit cards. So, you know, when they give us a credit card for $1,000, so you need to use 30% or less on that. So less than $300 every billing cycle and pay at least 3 days before your billing date. So if you have to pay by the 15th, make sure it's paid off by the 12th. And it has to be less than $300 if it is $1,000. So it's 30% of whatever they give you. So if they give you $300, then multiply that times 30%. If you were a newcomer, I would recommend you to have at least 2 credit cards and use them very wisely for at least a year. What is wisely? Less than 30% and on time. Once you do that and you don't have a big car bill and you're working full time for at least a year, you're on good spectrum.
Okay, cool. And that sounds really good. So for like when you're talking to the Hispanic community now, what are some things that you also see with them? Like maybe is it like you have to guide them a little bit more just so that they know what they're doing and things like that?
For sure. So it's more like I'm telling you, like when we deal with other people, sometimes they already have the people that their parents used or stuff like that. And our community is like brand new. They don't know insurance, you know, stuff like that. So I usually recommend, like I said, the consultation at the office, and we tell you step by step what's going to happen from home inspections. Because a lot of our culture, they're like, no, ya la cheque. I'm fine. I'm good with it. And I'm like, no, we need a home inspection. We need to know what's on top of that roof. We need to know what's underneath that sink. We need to know what's behind that wall. You know, if there's moisture, because you're about to buy a $250,000 house. You don't want to move in and then put another $50,000 into it. And a lot of our people are like, no necesitamos inspección. You know, if you're buying a $50,000 house, which we do any type of house, but if you do a $50,000, we're not going to do a home inspection because we know it's going to need work. But if we're going to buy our first $250,000 house, we need a home inspection. And our community is like, no, ya llevé a mi papá, ya la checó. We're fine. And I'm like, we need it, you know? So that's one of the things that I have to push people on doing, like home inspection. And it's very important. It's only like $350, $400. And it's not expensive. Like it's a good investment to know exactly what you're moving into and you know what needs to be done at your property. Y pues, más que nada, agarrarlos de la mano since the beginning of, so sorry, I do a lot of Spanglish.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, absolutely.
Agarrarlos de la mano desde el principio and just be like, credit. Okay, now we're done with credit. Now let's go look at houses. Now we're done with houses. Let's go make an offer. So the process is literally credit, then look at the houses once you're approved, then make an offer of the house that you want, then the home inspection, then the appraisal, then the closing, and then everybody's like, that's a lot. And I'm like, yeah, that's the reason. Let's just go pull your credit for now. And then we'll go from there. But yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And how long have you been doing real estate for?
I've been doing real estate since I was 19 and a half.
19, wow.
Yeah. I'm 31.
So it's been a couple years. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So through all those years, what do you think has been like the biggest challenge for you?
Letting go of stuff. So I have a team of 5 people now because we have grown so much thanks to the Lord. And it's been taking me to let go. So imagine that in the name of Jesus, this podcast is going to grow. And you're going to have to say, hey, I have to go interview this other person. Can you please stay and interview this person? And then you want them to do it just like you do it, right? You want them to be on time and you want them to be there for the people. And it's just like training other people with the passion that you feel. Letting go is hard for me. Building the team was really hard for me just because it's delegating stuff and I like to do it all by myself. And when I had kids, it taught me that I can't do it all by myself anymore like I used to. So I had to let go. And that was one of my biggest hurdles ever. Like growing pains are my biggest pains right now. We have to hire a new person, right? So because we're growing and we have to hire this other thing or we have to do this. And it's just like, I used to do it all by myself. So it's just like, ahorita I'm sitting here, but there's other 4 people working, you know? So it's like, okay. Then after here, I have to catch up with everybody and be like, what happened, and everything else. So it's the growing pains that I've realized. But if you're in sales, you need a CRM. I realized, even you with this, I realized that I could have got a CRM. A CRM is like where you put all your people in, like since day one that you started business. So, hey, I interviewed Henry on my first episode, and then I interviewed Pepper on my second, and then Itzel on my third. So have their information somewhere to where you can go back and just click on their name and be like, I'm going to call them up and see what they're doing and see if they want to do a recap. You know what I mean? So just having a CRM of all your clients have been my biggest. If I would have done that since day one, my world would have been different. And I'm doing a CRM. I just started using it like 2 years ago. And it's just putting all the information there. So just growing and having everybody on the same customer service level as you want it to be. It's my biggest hurdle.
Gotcha. Yeah. I've always been curious about what that team consists of. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it's a team it's 2 agents, 2 realtors. And it's me and my brother, Renee. And then there's 3 admins. So there's one girl that helps with all my citas, my agenda. She takes care of all of that. She also calls all of her clients. So if you come to her office, right, and then you're like, you applied, but you're not there yet. You have to work on your credit. Well, I hired somebody personally that's going to call you every 3 months and say, hey, Samir, do you need our help?
Yeah.
Have you worked on your credit? And then it's just like a friendly follow-up call just to help you push through homeownership, because we know life gets busy, but we also like to let people know we're there. So she's like our friendly reminder to call people out. And she's also like my profit and loss girl. So she looks at how much comes in, how much goes out. She does our accounting. So she does a lot of that stuff. She oversees the team, and she's like, this position needs this position needs that. So she does a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then my second person, he does all my transactions. Es el otro primo, Brian.
Brian.
So he does all my transactions. So contract to close. So contract, we're ready. So he sends out all the earnest monies that we need to get out, the inspectors. He sends out the appraisals. He does everything, and he does that. And then we have another one, and she does all our marketing, and she does all of my rentals, because I own rentals. So she manages a lot of my rentals. So she makes sure that the rents are deposited. She makes sure they're up to date. She also takes care of a lot of our applications from our clients that they're making, like, hey, I want to apply for this loan and I need help with paperwork. So she also does a lot of paperwork. Yeah. So there's a lot. And just to think that I used to do it all by myself freaks me out, dude.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah. Well, I added more people because I wanted the customer service, because if I would have ran by myself, I'm sure I could do it, but I would be driving myself nuts and my family nuts. And I want, you want to live a life. You don't want to work to live. You want, you want to live your life.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We'll hire somebody else, but I want to be okay with my family. Like, I want to also give them my clients, what they need, the personnel that they need, the care. Yeah. But I also want time with my kids. So
yeah, good thing you didn't stretch yourself so thin, like, for so long. So good thing that you have a team. I kind of want to know if you had a mentor through all of those years.
So yeah, in the beginning, I had a mentor. His name was Mark Saller. He passed away 2 years ago. Yeah, he passed away. Yeah, he was my biggest mentor. I remember walking into his office one day when I was doing rentals, and he looked really busy. And I was like, do you need help? It's like if you were walking into like the news station, right? And you were like, you saw somebody that was always busy and you always asked for help. And they were like, no, I'm fine, And then one day I walked in after one of our rental meetings, because I was when I was a rental agent, and he was like, no, I'm fine. And then one day I kept knocking on his door, because I remember I wanted to do sales, but I wasn't like, I was like, okay, I'm going to touch the door and see if it's there, because he was our only realtor at the office. Everybody else was doing like property management or rentals. And I knocked on his door one day and I said, you look really stressed out today. And he looked at me and he was like, you're right. He's like, I need your help today. So then I walked in and I started helping him with it, and he guided me. I literally was just like his assistant. He's like, I need you to go take pictures of these 4 houses. And then I went to take pictures and I brought them back to him. And he's like, I need you to go check out these houses are vacant. I was like rich dad, poor dad example. Like I was working for free, but I loved it because I was learning knowledge, like it was, but he helped me a lot. He helped me to grow a lot. And whenever I needed to write an offer, he was the one that sat down with me, and he was the one that tells me, this is where you write this. This is how you do this. Whenever I had to sell houses, I had my first house for sale. When you're a realtor, you have a lot of buyers, but you usually don't have listings until further out in your career.
Yeah.
But I had it within like 3 months, thanks to the Lord. So he helped me with that. And he was like, this is how you pull comps to know exactly how much that house is going to be worth when you sell it. So he was one of my mentors. He passed away when I was pregnant with my youngest, Nathan. And then my next mentor right now that I will say, it's Kim Flournoy and Sarah Layson.
Yeah.
They are at Keller Williams, and they have mentored me a lot. And after Mark passed away, I had another mentor. His name was Drew Clothier. The Clothier family has been very good to me as well, and Drew is one of them. And he helped me a lot with my investments. He taught me how to do a lot of running numbers and analytical. He was my analytical guy. I was like, hey, what do you think about this property? He's like, you can run it for this amount, and you can do this, and this is an insurance policy, and you got to do this, and you got to. So he was very, and I still call him. I don't work with that company anymore, but I call him, I think, once a month, and I'm like, hey, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
So he's very good on my investment side. He's my mentor. Right now as a realtor, as a team leader, Sarah Layson and Kim Flournoy are my mentors, and I learn a lot from them, and they always help me grow. And I'm very glad where I'm at right now with Keller Williams, because they were the ones that got me to see the vision. I could see the vision. It's like when you see the vision, right? You're like, I know I can get there. I don't know how to get there. And then they were like, we have the processes to get there, so I'm going to help you. And I always say I like to be the dumbest in the room. And I feel like that when I'm around them. Because it's like I tell them a problem, and they're always like, this is the solution. You got to do this, Or I'm like, hey, I'm cutting short on this. And they're like, you need another person, or you need to do this. So you always need that people around you, Like always surround yourself with the 3 good people that you want to be like. If you want to be better, for me, it's spiritually, a better mom, and a better business person, right? So I got to be with a more spiritual person than me. I have to be with a better mom than I am, somebody that I look to as a mom, as a wife, right? And then somebody that I look up to as a business owner or entrepreneur. So I have those 3 people, and you just got to stick to them, and set up lunches with those people, and have those 3 people to where you can be like, I want to be like you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's such a blessing to have good people around you.
For sure.
When I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do for college. And then I had my mentor who got me in like senior year. I didn't know what to do. And then he took me to news. Basically, he showed me all the ropes. So it's really nice to have that mentor alongside you.
What would have happened if you wouldn't have that mentor?
That's what I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really don't know where I would be at right now. But thanks to him, I'm here right now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So tell me maybe a little bit about to you what it's like balancing all of these things that you have to look out for, like being a mom, your business, taking care of yourself, and your marriage and things like that. What's that like for you?
Time blocking has been really important to me. So you look at my agenda, it's literally like 11 to 12 Samir, 12 to 1 this, 1 to 2 this. I have a babysitter that helps me 3 days a week. Shout out to my girl Giovanna. She's the one that takes care of my kids.
Yeah, second shout out already. Dang.
I have to trust somebody with my kids, and I trust that girl with my kids. And it's really important to me to have that support system at home to where I could be out whenever I have to be out, So definitely as a mom is just having somebody that could watch your kids that you trust. That's my biggest thing. And then after that, just time blocking. So if she's going to come in at this time, I got to be at the gym at this time. Then after the gym, I got closing. So I usually block my day 2 or 3 days before. So I know on Sundays, I already know what my whole week looks like. And if I don't know, I get anxious. So I got to start calling people. Hey, you haven't confirmed your appointment with me. What's going on? Are we going to meet up? And if not, then I got to find something to do. Because I have a lot of stuff on my to-do list that I still have to work on my team, where I'm starting to work on other stuff, so building more systems and stuff. So time blocking is very important. I see that when I don't have time for God, I start breaking down. So God is like my first go-to person.
Yes.
Just having him in the mornings, just at least saying, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you for my family. And then in las noches, just talking to him throughout what happened throughout the day. And I give it all to him. That's very important to me. And then with my husband, I like to do date nights. So we've been together for 20 years.
Yeah.
We've been dating since I was 13 years old.
Oh, yeah. For the longest time. Yeah.
Yeah. So date nights are very important to us. We go out to dinner. We go out bowling. We go out golfing. So just having one night, at least a month, at least, or every 2 weeks we go out. So that's taking care of marriage and, you know, trying to take off the phone off of me because I am like, I have business hours, but then I still respond after hours. That's very bad. But, you know, I still do that. So just time blocking everything and having stuff scheduled out already helps me a lot. Having the support system at home works a lot for me. And I don't know, it's just God, man. God is the one that pushes me through because I can tell you there's days that I'm just like, and he's just remember why you're here, you know?
Yes.
Why are you here today? Because at the end of the day, we don't take nothing. We're not going to take nothing. And the reason why I feel fulfilled is when I give back to people. Yeah. And I feel like I give back to people in my career. And I feel like I give back to people when I'm taking care of my kids, you know, because he said, dress the poor and give food to the poor. And I feel like that's how my kids are. Yeah, I keep dressing them, keep feeding them every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really exciting to be a mom and an entrepreneur and a wife.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it. I look at it now and I'm like, this is the best life. Like, I love it.
I'm sure there's no boring days at all.
There's no boring days. There's no boring days.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so that seems like some really good things, like having good people around you.
Time blocking,
having God with you. Absolutely. I love that a lot. You've inspired me a lot, by the way. I have to tell you that.
Thank you.
Because seeing how you work and the people that you keep around you and how you continuously grow, it's like inspired me a lot. So
thank you, primo. You're going to grow. I see it. You have the hunger to grow and you're going to do it. You just got to attach yourself to God and say, this is what I want to do. And if this is your will, let it be done. And it's going to happen.
Yeah. Thank you.
I never thought I was going to be here. Here, you know what I mean? Like I never thought you were going to do this and it's happening and it's and you're going to do great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So I want to talk about maybe, you know, you're a real estate agent now, but do you ever want to be a broker in the future?
Yeah, I've always dreamed of like having my own office and looking so fresh like this room, you know, like well, to where they walk in and we have like our client testimonials going through a big pantalla and having some Vicente Fernandez playing in the background, like very like that's like something that I don't know that
resembles you.
Yeah, like, for sure. Like people not walking into a real estate office and them hearing like I have nothing against any like, you know, música en inglés, pero que entren a una oficina y digan, hey, aquí está, you know, like my roots. I want that. It's not the moment yet because it's a lot of responsibility. And then we also have a lot of like, with my kids right now. So it's either my kids or my brokerage. And I prefer obviously my kids right now because it's God, family, and then work. And then, but maybe in the future when they get older like you and I'll be 40 something and you know I could be like, hey, let's do it. Not upcoming, but that's my plan. I don't know what God has in plan for me. Maybe he pushes me and it gets done and he has people that could surround me and help me with it. I'm more than willing to. But yeah, that is one of my I want to have an office to where people can come in and feel welcomed and know that that's their real estate space.
Yeah. And from my understanding, a broker like has their own real estate agents under them and they have a little bit more licensing power. Yep. So is that kind of what it is?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It is. You can have your own firm or you could be at a firm and be a broker. You have to take extra tests. So I do have to take extra tests to get there. And I'm more than willing to do it. I just, like I said, with 2 kids and one is 4 and one is 1, it's like it gets hectic, you know. But it'll happen if God wants it to happen, and if not, then it's fine. But it's one of my dreams, you know. Now that I'm in it, I'm like I want to have an office to where people can walk in and hear some Vicente Fernandez in the background.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very lowly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about expanding, like maybe into bigger roles, do you ever think about moving out of Memphis or anything like that?
No, I think Memphis is like my home, man. Like, yeah, this is where I wanna. Maybe not in Memphis, grow old, but surroundings. Like maybe go out to eat and have un ranchito allá en la esquina, and I plan to when I get older, retire, obviously. And have un rancho en Mexico, aquí, and just be 6 months allá, 6 months acá. That's my retiring plan. Pero ahorita no, aquí quedarnos y pues darle a lo que se pueda con los niños and just stay here and do it here. But yeah, that's something that we have talked about, and we're like, we'll see what God takes us, but right now just stay here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, sounds good. And I also want to talk about the fact that you were like the face of a magazine once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so tell me about that. What was that like?
So it's a realtor magazine, and they broadcast realtors that, they choose. They pick and choose who they want, and they chose me. And and it was beautiful. It's been an experience. This career has been an experience for me. I never thought I would be we had a podcast. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
And the guy texted me like 24 hours after we posted, and he was like, dude, like your podcast has been heard more times than any podcaster in our office ever.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And I think it all started from there, because I think that guy heard it, and then he contacted me through the magazine, and it's just been like that. And I just think it's more the history behind what got me where I'm at. But it was really nice. They took us pictures, and they wanted to learn more about our career, and we talked about it. And like I said, it's more building. I love doing what I'm doing, and then what comes with it is just gratitude, and then stuff like that, stuff like this, stuff like magazine covers. That happens, and I'm very grateful for it. But you don't think I'm gonna be on magazine covers. This is the reason I'm doing this. You just work, and then it comes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely. So what are some other things that maybe other people can expect from you in the future? Things that maybe we could look forward to.
Yeah. Well, we're expanding. We're moving our offices. We're gonna stay obviously in Memphis, pero estamos branching out to other realtors in Jackson, Tennessee. So we're going to be moving to Jackson, Tennessee. We're going to have some realtors over there. We're going to have meetings soon. And then we're also going to be branching out to West Memphis, Arkansas. So I'm excited about that. I never thought I was going to be the Sanchez team is going to be in Memphis, but we're going to have realtors we're going to be referring to in other states, and that they're going to be giving the same programs that we're going to be giving, like our Harmony Lender program. So I'm very excited about it. I never thought I was going to move to other states, or our program was going to move to other states or anything like that, but it is now. We're growing, and I'm very excited about it. But like I told you, there's growing pains. So systems, because I want to make sure we have the right systems in place, and we have everything. So I'm working on that as we speak this week. Make sure everybody's on the same boat before we get more people in our system. So yeah, I'm very excited about growing. That's that. And then I want to start doing more like investor meetups, because I have a lot of investors in our pipes. We have a lot of people that already own their houses, and now they want to buy 3-4 houses to rent. And I'm very excited about that, because that's building wealth within our community. And I think mucha gente quiere, pero no sabe cómo, So I'm here to help, and I'm here to help you do it. So we had a seminar, I say like in May, like a month ago, and we already have like 4 or 5 investors buying their investment homes now. So it's very important to me para mí es más como enseñarles a los papás poder dejarle a los hijos un legado, ¿ok? Entonces, tomorrow we pass away, what do our children inherit from us? What is really, besides teaching them about God, obviously that's the most important thing. We can teach them fear to God is the biggest thing we can do for our kids.
Yeah.
But then wealth-wise, how are you building wealth for your kids? And I'm just like, well, let's teach you how to build wealth. So if you have 4 children, you minimum need 4 houses.
Yeah.
Because you need to leave one for each,
Yeah.
And then after that, how are you going to retire? What's your retirement plan? So when people come and sit down with me, I'm like, do you want to flip? Do you need money now? Or do you need money when you're older? And they're like, well, I need money when I'm older. I'm like, well, you need a rental then. You know, we need to get it for this price and it needs to make sense. And I know the price ranges that we need to buy in and stuff. So eso a mí, I have found, obviously I love helping first-time home buyers and everything, but I have found that investing in our community to invest in themselves and in their families has been one of my biggest goals this year. And I'm getting there. So I'm very, and again, I don't put that out there. God puts that to my heart and I just pray on it and it happens. I put a program together and I think we had more than 80 people show up. And you can know that in real estate events, not a lot of people show up. And we had 80 people and everybody was like that. We didn't have place to sit people. It was like, you know, it was really good. And
so full.
It was really cool. And I'm able to help family también, you know. My mom is growing her portfolio. Family around me is going to start growing portfolio. So I'm very excited about that. I'm like, I'm able to branch out and give back to my family, the people that saw me grow up, you know, the little girl that I was. Now people are able to invest back, you know. So I'm very excited. I'm very blessed to be able to help other people, stuff that I know that I think that other people should know, you know, just giving back knowledge.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all of that. I mean, I think it's really good to have people to that are helping like the Hispanic community because we're a minority, especially with everything going on right now. So thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. And is there any other, I like to give the floor to people for any words of advice that you might want to give to the people.
To you or to the people?
Whichever.
Well, I'm sure a lot of young people are looking at this, right? Because of your age. So I would say if I have the target to talk to young people, make sure you have a plan out of where you want to be in the couple next year. So I would say plan out where you want to be in a year, where you want to be in 2 years, 3 years. At least have a plan out of what you want to do. If you're a note taker on your phone, then do it on your phone. If you are a paper and pen like me, then write on your notepad. Just have goals in life to where you know where you're going, because life will get by fast. And by a blink of an eye, you're 31 like me, and you're like, ¿qué he hecho de mi vida? So that for sure. And obviously get closer to God. Whatever God looks like to you. I'm not going to talk religion. I'm just going to talk God. Get closer to God and make sure that you're in good standing with Him. As we have seen in our youth, there's a lot of no hay miedo hacia Dios. People killing and doing and make sure we're out in the streets doing good. And that's the only thing we have, you know, guaranteed. We're all gonna go up there. So make sure you're making enough stuff here on earth that's gonna be worthwhile to be up there with Him. And going to church on Sundays is one first step, but serving is another step. And that's where I'm praying God to put me to serve somewhere that He needs me besides my job. And give back to others. I think our youth community are so used to getting and not giving. I have seen it a lot. And I'm just like, you have to learn how to give. You have to learn how to give back. The more you give, the more you get. And don't look at it that way, but it's true. Learn how to give to your parents. Learn how to give to your people around you, your peers. Yeah. What is giving? Giving your time, giving your knowledge, giving $20, whatever, you know, that may look for you. That and financial planning. Just start financial planning for yourself. Get a financial advisor. Know exactly where you want to be. Because kids are going to come, y'all. And when that does happen, I can tell you, I grew my business when I had no kids. And when the kids got here, it's been really hard to build. And kids are not a block, but it is harder. So if you have no kids right now, try to build as much as you can. And for when they do get here, los puedes aprovechar. And if you do have kids and you're young, that's perfectly fine. As you and I know, that's a very good motor to keep going, and that's not an excuse to not keep going. So go at it and have God as your first person, and then make sure you have your goal set and your parents, or if you're not married, your parents next, and then you guys will do great. And make sure you root for your people wherever you're at. You know, ahorita ustedes están jóvenes y pueden ir a estas marchas y pueden ir a todo esto que está sucediendo. Speak up for us. speak up for our parents and for the people that actually brought us here, you know, los abuelos que cruzaron el río por nosotros, los tíos que abrieron sus puertas cuando llegamos aquí a Estados Unidos. Speak up for all of them that can't, and do good in the community that we live right now, so they don't look at us as they have been, you know, and go from there, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some very powerful words. Thank you so much, Prima. Thank you so much for your time here. Yeah. You have a wealth of knowledge and you're such an inspiration to me. So it means a lot.
Thank you for inviting me. And I really hope this is going to take off. And
yeah, we hope so.
And it is. It is. You have to have faith about it, man. And it's going to happen. Thank you for watching, and make sure that you click like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you share this with somebody that needs the knowledge and that needs to know this information. Have a great day.
See y'all.